Hey everyone! I thought that for today's video I can go ahead and kind of walk you through the process of how I basically end a month in my planner. For 2026 I've been using an A6 Hobonichi HON, and I did one of these videos like a couple years ago, but that was when I was still bullet journaling, and I thought that it was maybe time to do kind of like an updated version. Some of the things that I do are still pretty much the same, but I figured that since the month of April just ended, then I can go ahead and just kind of share with you how I've been finishing off the months in this planner specifically for this year. So I've already done this off camera, but this is basically the first step that I like to do just because it does take a little bit more time. And that was basically switching out the ink that is in my fountain pen. So this is a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. This is the fountain pen that I have been using for like my journal entries in my planner. And I do a journal entry every single day, but the thing that I've been liking to do every month is basically find a fountain pen ink that somewhat matches the Hobonichi color. And this fountain pen is a medium fine nib, but I find that it is very fine. So I thought that it was very perfect, especially for kind of like these smaller pages in the Hobonichi where the grid spacing is pretty small, and so I find that I tend to gravitate towards a fountain pen that has a pretty fine nib, and even though this one is a fine medium, I do think that it is pretty stinking fine, I guess. But here's just an example of my journal entries that I've been doing, and now that April is over, then for the May color, then it is this kind of like chartreuse, kind of like olivey green type of color. And so what I did off camera was just went ahead and cleaned my fountain pen, and then I filled it up with the Colorverse Redwood Forest ink, which just comes in this adorable little bottle. I'm not sure if you can get it in a bigger bottle, but this one is just the 5 milliliter one, so it's super cute. But in case you haven't seen my May plan with me, then this is essentially the swatch of the Colorverse Redwood Forest, and I thought that it matched pretty nicely with this color. So I'm looking forward to doing my journal entry later and just seeing how well it matches. But that's basically like the first step that I like to do at the beginning or the end of every month, I guess, is to just switch out the monthly color. Another thing that I like to do to basically end like the previous month is to just take whatever highlighter I found to be also like close to the monthly color that I had been using for kind of like the intermittent fasting that I've been marking on the timeline here on my daily pages. I just take that same highlighter and then I highlight whatever habits I was able to successfully do every single day of that month. So April was kind of a rough month for me. I had a lot of stuff going on, and so I was only successfully able to do my morning and my night routine every single day. I forgot to leave that part to highlight in today's video. I accidentally did it yesterday. So that is just another thing that I like to do. And then flipping over to the beginning of the April daily pages, then I leave this spot blank here because I like to come back and basically add a collage of pictures that I've taken throughout the month. And to do that, then I have been using the HP Sprocket printer. This is something that my husband got for me like 8 years ago now, and surprisingly it's still running. It's pretty rough, but it still works, and so I've still been using it, and it still connects to my phone and everything. And so basically what I like to do is just go through the entire month, pick out some of my favorite photos, and then I use the PicStitch app to create a collage. This is just an app that I've been using for many years, and I usually do like the largest collage that I can do, which will fit 16 images, but I've already gone ahead and selected the photos from the month. And so at this point I like to print off 2 files from my Sprocket. So the first one is the collage that I've made for this page here, and then the second photo that I like to print out is just one single photo, and so that way it'll basically just be kind of like the highlight of the month. And then I like to paste it back here and write basically like a little summary of what happened throughout the month. And that's just a nice way for me to reflect back on the month and also have an opportunity to select basically like my favorite photo from the month or like the highlight from the month. So now I'm just going to turn my HP Sprocket on, and I'm just going to print out the 2 photos. So here's the collage printed out. I will say the HP Sprocket isn't the best quality, but as far as like for small images like this and just for like some casual decorating and scrapbooking in my planners and journals, I really don't mind it. But this is basically just a nice way for me to also include it in like my planners and journals and just have like a printed photo to look at. And here's the second photo. As you can see, it does kind of get cut off like over here for some reason. I'm not sure if maybe like the page is just a little bit too long, but I do usually like to just trim this extra white piece off. But here is the monthly photo that I would like to paste in for the month of April. It was when my husband and I went to the Morgan Wallen concert, and it was incredible, and I thought that this part was just so freaking cool when the stage just like lit up on fire, so I'm very excited to be pasting this one into my planner. Now that the images have been printed out, I'm taking a pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut out each picture individually from the collage, and that way I can just paste them in the proper orientation on this page. I'll spare you all of the cutting and I'll go ahead and just fast forward to when they are all separated and cut out and everything. So the nice thing about the Sprocket paper is that they already have like an adhesive back, and so you just have to peel like the protective paper off of it, and then you can just stick them in like stickers, which is one of the big reasons why I do really love the HP Sprocket. But now I'm just going to paste everything into this page. One of the things that I do kind of struggle with at the end of every month is making sure that I have enough space for everything, so I'm going to try and Tetris my way throughout this process. Alright, so that is basically how I like to paste in my collages. Not really like too much rhyme or reason or anything, but I do just try to keep them kind of in like chronological order. So just like starting from like the first of the month all the way to the end. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way because sometimes I forget when I'm cutting them out, but that's basically all that I try to do. And then, like I said, just try and fit them all in here, which usually they do fit just fine. I mean, I guess I could have like spread it out a little bit better like towards the front here, but it is what it is. I think it's fine. And I just really love having all of these pictures here to basically serve as like a reminder of everything that happened during that month without having to look at my pictures on my phone. So that does it for the collage section of the planner. And then moving back to this page here, then this is essentially the last thing that I like to do to basically end off the previous month. So just going back to that second photo that I printed out earlier. And then the last thing that I like to do with the highlighter of the month is just write out the name of the month somewhere close to the photo, and that way it just kind of serves as like the title or like the header, I guess, if you will. Now that that's done, I take my Uniball One and I draw an outline, and then I'll also add like a few stars just to kind of like balance out the nameplate or whatever, and then I just go ahead and fill in my journal entry. Well, Homer's decided to join me, so hopefully you guys don't mind him being in the frame. But that's basically it as far as like my month-end routine on how I finish up my planner. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that it wasn't like too much, but I just wanted to get this filmed for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it entertaining and helpful. So if you have any future video ideas that you would like to see from me, then please let me know. I love hearing from you guys, and I want to make content that you guys are excited to watch and will actually enjoy. So if you have any ideas, then please feel free to leave them down below, and I will love to consider them. But yeah, I would love to know if any of you guys have kind of like your own month-end routine on how you basically like close off another chapter in your planner and move on to like a new month, or is this kind of like foreign and unheard of to you? I would love to know that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.